So, in essence, what my thesis boils down to is trying to understand whether or not we can use a native mussel as a restoration tool following a disaster such as Deepwater Horizon. So ultimately, when you are trying to understand an ecosystem and study that ecosystem, you are looking at its structure, its function, and ultimately its stability. So the two study species that I use have known benefits for the marsh that enhance those three properties. Namely, I'm using the southern red mussel and smooth cordgrass. So what these two species have is a beneficial relationship in which the mussels fertilize the plants and aerate the soil, enhancing ecosystem structure. This influences smooth cordgrass growth above and below the ground, which is an enhancement of primary production or ecosystem function. Then this ultimately boils down to enhanced ecosystem stability, meaning the soil is stronger, is more resistant to erosion, and we have, under ideal conditions, a building of the marsh vertically. So in Barataria Bay, specifically Bay Jimmy, I have many sites split between heavy, moderate, and reference or no oiling. And at these sites, what I'm attempting to do is understand a couple of different things. First and foremost, how has Deepwater Horizon affected the mussels in the long term? So I'm looking at the amount of mussels, their size, and their volume. Then I will be looking at the benefits of mussels upon Svartina. So how do the mussels help the plants grow above and below the ground? How do they influence that strength of the soil? And what kind of difference in the nutrients of the soil do we see? Ultimately, what we want to know from the first two steps here is whether or not a transplantation of mussels could be used as a restoration technique. So by taking the knowledge gained from step 1 and step 2, we have inserted mussels into heavy oiling and no oiling sites with mussels present or mussels not present. And then based on these factors, we're going to analyze the differences of those benefits. And if we see a positive relationship at the heavy oiled sites where mussels inserted show those enhanced properties versus where areas don't have mussels, then we know we have an established restoration technique. Now this is really important because if you notice in my top right photo, there's still oil in Barataria from Deepwater Horizon. And an ever-growing body of literature suggests that the marsh has yet to fully recover. So techniques like this and others that are currently being implemented are still very, very important to understand and to learn. Thank you.